Last but not least are your circle equations and their graphical representations. And I think we have enough time to do 1, 2, 3, and then I think there's like 3 more examples that we can do. And then I think that is it for all the teaching. I taught for a long time already for this lesson. Okay, your general circle equation is going to be x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared is equal to r squared. And I'm just going to write down a couple things where h and k is your center. Okay, notice that it's positive. So this and this, both of them need to be opposites. Okay, both are opposite. So if you saw -3 over here, this would be +3. If you saw +7 here, this would be -7 here. That's your center. And then what you have to do with the r squared value here is you're going to have to square root that to its positive value. And so your r is going to be radius. So you have to square root that last portion here, and that's how you're going to get that done. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a specific example. 57 looks pretty good. Okay, so 57, once you have your center and your radius, I think you're really good to go, you guys. So for your center, so both need to be opposites of what you see. So I see positive 1, so I'm going to go -1. And I see -1, it's going to be 1. So opposite and opposite. Okay, so let's start off with that. -1, comma 1. Okay, your r squared is 16. So that means your radius is 4. So you just take the positive square root value because it's going to be difficult, or it won't make sense to graph a radius of -4. So just take the positive one. So what you want to do is from the center, you're just going to go 4 to the right, 4 up, 4 down, 4 left, and 4 right. 4 left and 4 right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, to this day, like I still draw some weird circles. I can't draw a perfect circle. So you guys will try it on your own. You guys are probably a little bit better at me drawing circles like this. You don't really need a compass. If you really want to, you can. Okay, so something like this will suffice. Okay, now let's get down to some of the half circles. General half circle equations, one is going to be positive for number 42, and one's going to be negative. And depending on the positive sign here and negative sign, that's where it's going to be placed at. Like, you either have the top half of the circle or you either have the bottom half of the circle. And how they got that is I'm just going to manipulate the general circle equation. And, the previous lesson was all about solving for a certain variable, our literal equations. So I'm going to try to see if I can solve for y. So what we can do is we can subtract this whole thing on both sides. Oh, usually I do it with the x squares and y squares. You know what? It's totally fine. I mean, I haven't, yeah. Usually I do it with the x squares and y squares. Oh, sorry. From here, we're going to square root. So y minus k is equal to plus or minus r squared minus x minus h squared. This is really your distance formula, really. R squared minus x minus h squared. And then we have that plus k over here. Okay, so the plus will represent the top half. So hence why you only graph the top half. And if you have a negative in front, then that will be the bottom half. So let's go ahead and do certain problems. Let's do numbers 56 and 59, and I think we are good to go. Okay. The half circles are going to be important for us, especially there's a couple of free responses with these half circles. We just need to know the geometry and also the equations that are attached to that. Okay, what I want to do first is I want to see if we can just get the center of the circle. Okay, we don't see like a plus k over here, so usually like that will represent our y value. So I don't see a plus k I'm going to add a 0, so that's going to be 0. Okay, and then based on the structure that we got over here, r squared minus x minus h squared, there's also not a number within the x, and we can add a plus 0 to that too as well. So your center is going to be 0, 0. Okay, and then based on the structure over here, your r squared is still going to be your r squared, meaning that once we take this value here, we have to square root that value. So your r squared is equal to 25, so your radius is going to be 5. Okay, so we're going to go 5 up, right and left, but we're not going to go down because since it's positive, we're only going to take the top half of the circle, and you are done with that. That's it. Okay, as opposed to 59. Let's take a look at 59. I'm going to add a plus 0 over here. So your center, let's be very, very careful. Your center, well, 0 over here, and opposite of what you see by the x, so this is going to be 2. 2 comma 0. Our r squared is 25, so we know that our radius is 5. So from that center of the circle, we're going to go 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 right, 1, 2, 3, 5 left, and we have to go down because we have that negative value here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is the structure of that half circle. What I'm planning to do is, I believe I've taught everything there is to be taught in this one. I'm going to do domain and range on a next lesson, so please hold on to this. Please do the classwork and homework right now, and then still submit it, and then we'll hold on to this because we'll do domain and range on the next lesson. Okay, thanks you guys.